Hola. Okay, we are gonna read The Haunter. Goosebumps Most Wanted. The Haunter. R.L. Stein is a special edition. And it's number 4. Alright. Hi. Welcome, you are most wanted. Come on, come in. I'm R.L. Stein. Welcome to the Goosebumps office. Hey, you're just in time for lunch. Sit down at the table. I'm cooking up a hamster and cheese omelet. I know it sounds weird, but why waste a good hamster? You don't want that? Okay, no problem. I have some leftover chicken lips I could warm up. They don't taste bad if you hold your nose while you swallow. Whoa. You look a little sick. Let me get you something to drink. I have some delicious bat juice. You should try it. You know, it's very hard to squeeze the juice from a bat. They always put up such a fuss. Well, okay. We can skip lunch. I see you are admiring the wanted posters on the wall. Those posters show the creepiest, crawliest, grossest Goosebumps characters of all time. They are the most wanted characters from the most wanted books. That poster you are studying is of a creature called the Haunter. Why do they call him the Haunter? Sammy Baker can tell you all about him. Sammy's story began on a dark, rainy Halloween night in an old haunted house. That's where Sammy ran into the Haunter. And that's where his nightmare started. Go ahead, read Sammy's story. You will soon find out why the Haunter is most wanted. Prologue. Chapter 1. I guess I could start my story by telling you about the school accessibly on Monday morning. It will give you a good idea of what has been happening to me. I pushed into the third row of the auditorium and dropped down beside my best friend, Bill Buzzner. Everyone calls him Buzzy. I had no idea that I was about to freak out and go totally wacko in front of the whole school. My name is Sammy Baker. I'm 12, and I never freak out or lose my cool or go berserk. I'm probably the quietest, nicest, most law-abiding, rule-following, do-good kid at Grover Flynn Middle School. Ask anyone. Not exactly, because in Son of Sloppy, the main character is just like that. Even Miss Flake, my teacher, says I am the least trouble of any of her students. She says that's her highest compliment. Miss Flake says she would give me a gold star for attitude and a gold star for behavior, except she doesn't believe in giving gold stars. Miss Flake is very funny. She is always cracking jokes. She even makes fun of Mr. Harkness, the principal. She croaks in a deep, booming voice and struts around with her eyes popped out until she almost looks like a big frog. Just like Mr. Harkness. It always makes us roar. She tells everyone that she has been a flake her whole life. I like a teacher with a good sense of humor, don't you? I like a teacher with a good sense of humor, don't you? I don't even mind all the homework she gives us, at least 2 hours a night. But today I wasn't laughing. We were supposed to go on a field trip to a farm where they make maple syrup. Where they tap the trees and collect the syrup in buckets. Then we were all supposed to get a big pancake lunch with real maple syrup. So when I don't use my finger to drag across the space, I just blink a bunch of times while dragging my eyes across it. So just if I do it without blinking, my eyes will literally burn. So if I do it with this, it'll either bend the cover, so I'd be careful when it's so little. but the trip had to be canceled because Mr. Harkness decided to invite Mayor Springfield to school for an assembly about city government. City government? Big whoop, right? No field trip, no pancakes, and a boring lecture. As we took our seats in the auditorium, I wanted to complain to Buzzy about how unfair it was, but he was talking to Summer McGee, who sat on his other side. I read only part of this book. Why I'm deciding to read to you this? On the next day, I will read part 2 of Weirdo Halloween, I promise. So I love you all. You all. Thank you for staying subscribed and I don't post for a while. I appreciate it. Because if I don't post for a while, I'm posting on my other channels. Well, now I'm posting on my other channels. I couldn't blame. But he was talking to someone, Mickey, who sat on his other side. I couldn't blame him for ignoring me. Summer is one of the hottest girls in school. I've had a mad crush on her since 3rd grade, when we built a volcano together for the science fair. Summer saved my life when the volcano exploded and a wave of boiling hot lava gushed onto the front of my t-shirt. She grabbed the shirt in both hands and ripped it off my body before I was too badly burned. The class went wild. I've had a thing for her ever since. But let's face facts. In the past 3 years, Summer hasn't paid much attention to me at all. I think maybe she was disappointed that our volcano was such a loser. Or maybe she doesn't even remember the whole thing. She has wavy blonde hair, dimples on both cheeks, sky blue eyes, and an awesome smile. She's the star of the gymnastics team. She is small and light and amazing on the balance beam. And why am I going on and on about her? I guess because she was telling some kind of long story to Buzzy and ignoring me as usual. The auditorium was nearly full. The roar of voices echoed off the dark walls as we waited for the presentation to begin. Mr. Harkness was already on stage with the mayor. They were both standing behind the podium with their arms crossed in front of them, wearing identical brown suits. As I said, Mr. Harkness looks a lot like a very big frog. Mayor Springfield is tall and skinny and kind of hunched over and makes me think of praying mantis. Just like the story. This guy? Yeah. Mayor Springfield is tall and skinny and kind of hunched over and makes me think of a praying mantis. His glasses catch the light, so you can't see his eyes. I turned and saw my arch enemy, Robin Rubino, squeezing into my row. Robin tripped over a kid's shoe and bumped a girl sitting in the row in front of us. As he stared to the edge past me, he stomped down hard on my right sneaker. Pain shot up my foot and leg. I let out a shriek. "Oops, sorry," Robin said. He flashed me that grin with his 2 front teeth poking out, and his big black eyes laughing, always laughing. Robin loves to cause me pain. He's big and he's strong. He's built like a wide-bodied truck. He has thick, clumpy black hair that sticks out all over his round, pudgy head and makes him look like a caveman. Does it remind you of anybody? Robin always appears to be laughing or grinning or smiling or chuckling. I don't think I've ever seen a serious expression on his face, even when he's dishing out the hearts. Why does he love to pick on me and make my life a world of pain? Well, last year he was showing off in front of a group of high school girls, telling them how great he is on a skateboard. And I came along and accidentally tripped him. His board went flying, and he fell on his face on the sidewalk and got a bloody nose. Sorry. The girls all thought it was a riot, and they laughed their heads off. That's why he has been my arch enemy ever since. Robin Robin mussed up my hair as he squeezed down the easel. He dropped heavily into the seat next to Summer. He took Summer's face in both of his big hands and turned her head so she was facing him and not Buzzy. Then Robin started talking to her. Buzzy had no choice. He turned to me. "What's up, Sammy?" I shrugged. "I'm just bummed that our field trip was cancelled." Buzzy frowned at me. "But you don't like maple syrup." "I know," I said, "but I like getting out of school and just hanging out someplace." Buzzy and I look a lot like brothers. We both have short, light brown hair and brown eyes. We're about the same size, average in every way. Not too small or short, not heavy or skinny. If you describe Buzzy, you pretty much describe me. Except I'm quieter than he is. His parents call him Motormouth. He talks a lot and gets more excited about things than I do. And Buzzy is braver than me. I admit it. I try hard not to be a wimp, but lots of things creep me out. Buzzy had his eyes on the podium on stage. "We had to listen to Mayor Springfield talk in my old school," he said. "We had to listen to Mayor Springfield talk in my old school," he said. Do you know what he invented?" I shook my head. "No, what did he invent?" "He invented boring." We both laughed. The auditorium lights dimmed. On stage, Mr. Hawkins cleared his throat into the podium microphone. A deafening squeal from the loudspeakers made everyone scream. And now I'm just doing it to annoy you. Sorry about that, the principal croaked in his froggy voice. He cleared his throat again. "I'm proud to introduce our special guest this morning. As many of you know, Jonathan Springfield is the mayor of our town." Wait, Jonathan Springfield, like Jonathan Chiller from Horrorland and from the Chiller House. I'm not saying they're connected. Stein probably likes the name Jonathan. And he has come to give you all a special inside look at how And he has come to give you all a special inside look at how city government works. Some kid near the back of the auditorium yawned really loud. That made a lot of kids laugh. Mr. Hawkins waited till everyone calmed down. "This is a special opportunity for us," he said. "And I want you all to show Mayor Springfield our best Grover Cleveland Middle School behavior." Yeah, I admit, that was a bit. It literally was a tough sentence. There's a lot of stuff was uppercase. I'm not used to. I read a lot, and I'm not used to like a sentence being with a lot of uppercase. Only like full up. Yeah, you get my point. The loudspeaker squealed again. "Let's all give the mayor a round of applause," Mr. Hawkins said. Kids clapped, and I heard some sarcastic cheers. I saw Kitty Springfield, the mayor's daughter, a 7th grader, sitting at the end of the first row. She had her head down and looked totally embarrassed. I felt bad for her. I mean, who wants her father to come to school? The mayor pulled some papers from his jacket pocket, his speech. He lowered his skinny praying mantis head toward the podium and began to read. He had a soft voice and spoke in a low drone. I could barely hear him. I waited, half listening for about 10 minutes. Then I jumped to my feet. Stepping over shoes, I began to push my way to the easel. "Hey, Sammy, where are you going?" Buzzy called to me in a loud whisper. But I ignored him. I stepped into the easel and began to walk toward the stage. You'll probably be a little surprised by what I did. I knew I was very surprised myself. You see, I climbed on stage and walked up beside the mayor, and then I did a wild, crazy tap dance in front of the whole school. And as I did my nutty tap dance, I flapped my arms in the air and crowed at the top of my lungs like a rooster. I had to do it. I had no choice. I couldn't help myself. Why does it remind me a lot of Son of Slappy? Why? It's kind of a long, scary story. Part 1. 3 weeks earlier. Wait. I'm gonna think whether or not I should put the prologue and part 1. I'm gonna think. It may seem more sense, but I actually want to continue part 1 because a prologue and Goosebumps is not counting as a part. It's literally connected to part 1. It actually is. Some prologues are connected to part 1. This one is. So, yeah. Part 1. Part 1, 3 weeks earlier. Everybody listen. Chapter 2. Halloween was less than 2 weeks away, and I have to admit, it's not my favorite holiday. I try hard not to be a wimp or a scaredy cat, but the truth is, I've never seen the fun part of people scaring each other. Bessie loves scary movies and books, but not me. I don't like that feeling of being frightened, that tingling at the back of my neck, or that cold feeling rolling down my body, or suddenly getting clammy, wet hands, or that gasping surprise that makes me want to scream. Scary stuff isn't fun. For you. So Fruit Loops called me. And I'm gonna go answer it back, but I won't end it. Hey guys, I will connect this clip to the other clip. I just need to go see what they need real quick. This is my cousins. I said, yeah, Abby and Fruit Loops are calling me. Fruit Loops has a new video on Minecraft Fruit Loops. So, have you ever wanted for me to do a part 2 of anything when your life is on the hand? Well, your life is on a hand. This is an ad. Anyways, I hope your life is not on a hand because this is an ad. Hit the like button if you want to skip an ad. Alright, now let's get to the video. Thinking that someone is looking in your bedroom closet or hiding in the dark basement waiting to pounce and have fun. Or that the living dead are slaggering toward you, craving your flesh, or that a vampire is going to grab you in the night and sink his teeth into your throat. How can those things be fun? Honestly, I have to agree with him on this point. I know. A lot of people don't agree with me. Buzzy calls me a chicken and a coward and a wimp when we're hanging out and he wants to pick a scary movie to watch on Netflix. And maybe he's a little bit right. But there's no law that says you have to like being scared, is there? I mean, he does have a point. When Buzzy asked me what I wanted to be for Halloween, I just stared at him. Buzzy, we're 12, I said. We're too old to go trick-or-treating. It's for little kids. He called me a joke. Then he called me a coward and a chicken and a wimp. And that kid is my best friend. It's always cold and dark and creepy on Halloween night, and there are people out all over the neighborhood waiting to scare you and make you jump or scream. Why do I need that? I'm plenty scared of... Why do I need that? I'm plenty scared of real life things, like getting a D in algebra, or dropping my lunchroom tray in front of Summer, McGee, and all the cool kids. Or Robin Robino, mainly because even a whole year after the skateboard incident, he still loves to torture me and pick on me and embarrass me and haunt me. And always with that toothy caveman grin on his face and those eyes that always seem to be laughing. And that's why I was about to have the worst Halloween of my life. The worst night of my life, and the most terrifying time I ever had. And it was all Miss Flake's fault. Miss Flake loves Halloween, no big surprise. She has a picture of Count Dracula hanging on our classroom wall next to a painting of George Washington. One day, Missy Rogers, a girl in our class, and asked Miss Flake why that picture was up there. Miss Flake replied, "It's just a reminder." Reminder of what? Miss Flake didn't say. But there it was, the dark photograph taken from the original Dracula movie, staring down at us with a vampire's eyes gleaming and his fangs about to slide down over your lips. That sounds like kiss more than a reminder. That day, Miss Flake wore a bright green sweater over faded jeans. Her light brown hair was tied behind her head in a ponytail. She had long, dangly plastic earrings in her ears. She's young and pretty and nice, and she was about to ruin my life. She sat down on the edge of her desk and crossed her legs in front of her. Halloween is almost here, she said. I know you all love Halloween as much as I do. I had an urge to raise my hand and say I didn't love it, but how uncool would that be? I glanced at Summer McGee sitting right in front of the teacher in the first row. I never wanted to look uncool in front of Summer. Girl, you have a big crush on Summer. So I have a special Halloween resource assignment for you, Miss Flake continued. I'm going to divide the class into 4 groups. Each 4 groups. I'm going to divide the class into 4 groups. Each group is going to study a different topic. She pulled up some papers from her desk. She lowered her voice. These topics are very scary. She hissed like a movie vampire. Don't get nightmares. Hope I don't, I thought. What kind of research paper could be so scary? Here are the 4 topics we are going to explore, Miss Flake said. She read from her paper. 1. Vampires, fact or fiction? Some kids giggled. I want that one, Buzzy called out. Miss Flake shook her head. No, you don't get to pick. I've already divided you into groups. A few kids groaned. She raised the paper. Now let me finish. This is going to be fun. The other 3 topics are the history of graveyards, magic spells, and legends about witches. And are haunted houses real? I'm trying my best, okay? Get it right. Everyone started talking at once. Kids were shouting out which topic they wanted. Robin Rubino cupped his hands around his mouth and began making spooky ghost sounds. Ooh. I stayed silent. I was thinking hard, wondering which group Miss Flake had put me in. I hoped it wasn't the haunted house group. I have a thing about haunted houses. He has a thing about everything. Also, what do you think? What is this? Spoiler alert. Once Buzzy forced me to watch that Ghost Hunters show on TV. I watched those guys go into an old house and capture eerie sounds, shadows that couldn't be explained. I mean, the only explanation was that ghosts are real. And I sure didn't want to believe that. There's an abandoned house in our town everyone calls the Marple House. And everyone in town believes it's haunted. I don't believe in ghosts, but when I pass the Marple House, I always ride my bike on the other side of the street. I mean, why take chances? I like this guy. Miss Flake had a big stack of papers in her hand. She walked down the easels between our seats, passing them out. These are your group assignments, she said. I tried to give you each a topic you will be interested in. Please, no haunted house, I thought. I crossed my fingers on both hands. Please, no haunted house. Miss Flake handed me my assignment paper. I raised it to my face, read the words at the top, and gasped. My assignment. Are haunted houses real? Those 4 words were about to ruin my life. Chapter 3. It's awesome that we're in the same study group, Buzzy said. I didn't reply. It was a few hours later, and Buzzy and I were walking home after school. It was a gray October day. A cold breeze chilled my face, and dark clouds rolled low over the sky. Perfect weather for the dark mood I was in. Yeah, I guess it's good, I mumbled, finally, but I don't want to be in this group. I don't want to study haunted houses. No way. Buzzy chuckled. Same old Sammy. I shivered, not from fear, but from the cold wind. It's not like I'm afraid, I said. Of course not. You? Afraid? Buzzy said. I knew he was making fun of me. I'm just not interested in ghosts, I said. I think they're totally boring. I hate this main character now. Buzzy chuckled again. His chuckling was starting to annoy me. Honestly, ghosts are not totally boring. I don't think they're even ever boring. Well, that's just me. We crossed the street and followed the path into the Washington Iron Park. A gust of wind made all the trees creak and bend. Dead leaves came raining down all around us. Our houses were on Fairmount Street on the other side of the park. Our houses were on Fairmount Street on the other side of the park. So you wouldn't be frightened to spend Halloween night in a haunted house searching for ghosts? Buzzy asked. I shivered again. From the cold. I'd just be bored, I said. Okay. I'm a liar. Sue me. I pulled off a crackly brown leaf that clung to my wool cape. I wool cap. I kicked a white petal off the door path. White pebble. Just because I felt like kicking something. Studying a haunted house isn't the worst part, I told Buzzy. He stopped walking and turned to me. His gray hoodie was pulled up tight around his face. His cheeks were red from the cold. What's the worst part? Robin Rubino, I said. Why does he have to be in our group? Buzzy shrugged. Miss Flake probably doesn't know Robin uses you as a punching bag. I shook my head. When he looks at me, he sees a big black and white target painted on my face. At least he's not actually throwing a down or arrow. I mean, like one of those like sharp things you throw the top of the balloon at the fair. Buzzy clapped me on the shoulder. Know what? I'll bet you could take Robin in the fight. No, we cannot. He's skinny. This main character's skinny. I pulled away from him. Are you kidding me? He's twice my size. His arms are flatter than my legs. His arms are fatter than my legs. Robin couldn't play on the softball team because they couldn't find a glove big enough to fit his hand. Maybe there's some place you could go and take fight lessons, Buzzy said. You know, like karate or something. You could learn how to kill people with your bare hands. I stared at him. You're serious? He shook his head. Just saying. Buzzy is a good friend, but sometimes he has weird ideas. I'm just imagining if I'm literally reading, so it would be very rare for me to mess up and it would sound like a different word. So YouTube translator, don't you dare make it mess up. I'm reading, so there's no way I'm messing it up. I don't want to be in the same study group with Robin, I repeated. But we could have fun, Buzzy said. I have this cool idea. We collect a lot of ghost hunting gear and we go to Marple House on Halloween night. Everyone knows the house is haunted, right? We spend Halloween night inside it and test the place for ghosts. It could be awesome. Not awesome, I said. Definitely not awesome. I took my red wool sea cap down over my ears. Stay up all night on Halloween in the haunted house? I won't come. I'll say I'm sick or something. Well, I won't go in that house on Halloween night, especially with Robin Rubino there. He'll do everything he can to scare me. But Summer McGee is in our group too, Buzzy interrupted. My mouth dropped open. I had stared so hard at Robin's name on our group list, I hadn't read any of the other names. Summer? My mind began to spin. It was a chance to impress her. To show her how brave I was in the face of the supernatural. Maybe save her life the way she saved mine. Whoa, who was I kidding? The whole idea of spending Halloween night in Marple House terrified me. But with Summer in our group, I had no choice. I had to show up. Alright, bye.